The roots of the Israel-Iraq conflict run deep, stretching back through decades of political, social, and cultural upheaval. Entwined with the complex history of the Middle East, a region marked by its rich tapestry of civilizations and its strategic significance. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 marked a turning point in the region, a moment that would forever alter the geopolitical landscape. It ignited a struggle for land and identity that continues to this day, a struggle that has seen countless lives affected and numerous conflicts arise. Iraq, a significant power in the Arab world, opposed Israel's creation vehemently, viewing it as an affront to Arab unity and sovereignty. This opposition stemmed from concerns about the displacement of Palestinians and the regional balance of power, fears that were shared by many in the Arab world. The early years following Israel's independence were marked by tension and sporadic violence, as both sides grappled with the new reality. Arab nations, including Iraq, refused to recognize Israel's right to exist, a stance that solidified the adversarial relationship. This rejectionist stance fueled a climate of hostility, making any form of peaceful resolution seem distant and unattainable. The Suez Crisis of 1956, while not directly involving Iraq, further deepened the divides in the region, showcasing the fragility of peace. It demonstrated the volatility of the Middle East and the potential for great power intervention, as global superpowers sought to influence the region. The Arab-Israeli conflict is not merely a territorial dispute, it is a profound clash of narratives, identities, and aspirations. It is also a clash of narratives, identities, and aspirations, with each side holding deeply entrenched views and historical grievances. For Israelis, the establishment of their state represented a return to their ancestral homeland after centuries of exile, a fulfillment of a long-held dream. For Palestinians, it meant dispossession and the loss of their homeland, a tragedy that has shaped their national consciousness. Understanding these deeply held beliefs and historical grievances is crucial to comprehending the complexities of the conflict, as they continue to influence the actions and policies of both sides. The Israel-Iraq conflict in many ways exemplifies the broader struggles of the Middle East, a region where history and modernity often collide. It is a conflict where history casts a long shadow on the present, shaping the perceptions and actions of all sides, and making the path to peace a challenging journey. The decades following Israel's creation witnessed a series of devastating wars that reshaped the Middle East. These conflicts not only defined the borders and political landscape of the region, but also left deep scars that continue to influence the geopolitics of today. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War, the first major confrontation, saw Iraqi forces joining other Arab armies in an attempt to prevent Israel's establishment. This war, often referred to as the War of Independence by Israelis and the Nakba, or catastrophe by Palestinians, was a pivotal moment in Middle Eastern history. The war ended in defeat for the Arab side, but it solidified the existence of Israel and displaced hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. These displaced individuals and their descendants have lived as refugees for generations, fueling ongoing tensions and conflict in the region. The Six-Day War of 1967 proved to be another turning point. This brief but intense conflict saw Israel facing off against Egypt, Jordan, and Syria, with Iraq also contributing forces. Israel's lightning victory over its Arab neighbors, including Iraq, redrew the map of the Middle East. The rapid and decisive nature of Israel's military success stunned the world and had far-reaching consequences. Israel captured the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. These territorial gains significantly altered the strategic balance in the region, and have been a source of contention ever since. This victory, while cementing Israel's military dominance, also fueled resentment and a desire for revenge among Arabs. The loss of territory and the humiliation of defeat galvanized Arab nations to seek ways to challenge Israel's supremacy. The 1973 Yom Kippur War, launched by Egypt and Syria, saw Iraq playing a supporting role. This surprise attack on the holiest day in the Jewish calendar caught Israel off guard and led to intense and bloody battles. Although Israel ultimately repelled the surprise attack, the war shattered the perception of Israeli invincibility. The heavy casualties and the initial setbacks faced by Israeli forces highlighted the vulnerability of even the most prepared military. It also highlighted the heavy cost of conflict, both in terms of human life and regional stability. The war left thousands dead and wounded, and the psychological impact on both sides was profound. These wars left an indelible mark on the Middle East. The legacy of these conflicts is seen in the numerous war memorials, the ongoing political disputes, and the deep-seated mistrust that persists to this day. They deepened the mistrust between Israel and its Arab neighbors, including Iraq. Efforts at peace talks and diplomacy have been ongoing, but the shadow of these wars looms large over any negotiations. They also led to the displacement of millions of Palestinians and created a volatile security environment. The refugee crisis remains one of the most pressing humanitarian issues in the region, with generations growing up in camps. The unresolved issues from these conflicts continue to fuel tensions to this day. The Middle East remains a region fraught with conflict, where the echoes of past wars reverberate through current events, shaping the lives of millions. The late 20th century brought about significant shifts in the Middle East, a region already fraught with historical tensions and geopolitical complexities. The 1990 Iraqi invasion of Kuwait under Saddam Hussein's regime upended the regional order and sent shockwaves through the international community. This aggressive move triggered the First Gulf War, a US-led military intervention that swiftly expelled Iraqi forces from Kuwait, restoring its sovereignty. While Israel was not directly involved in the conflict, it faced Iraqi Scud missile attacks, which brought the war to its doorstep and heightened the sense of vulnerability among its citizens. This experience further intensified Israeli anxieties about rogue states and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, leading to increased military preparedness and strategic planning. The US invasion of Iraq in 2003 marked another significant turning point in the region's history, with far-reaching consequences. The removal of Saddam Hussein's regime, while initially welcomed by some factions, led to a power vacuum and years of instability in Iraq, as various groups vied for control. It also emboldened Iran, a regional rival of both Israel and the United States, to expand its influence and assert its power more aggressively in the Middle East. The rise of sectarian violence and the emergence of extremist groups like ISIS in the aftermath of the invasion had profound implications for the region, leading to widespread destruction and displacement. For Israel, the chaos in Iraq represented both a significant threat and a potential opportunity in the shifting geopolitical landscape. The threat stemmed from the potential for spillover of violence and the strengthening of militant groups that could destabilize the region further and pose direct risks to Israeli security. The opportunity lay in the weakening of a historical adversary and the potential for forging new alliances in a changing Middle East, as countries reassessed their positions and sought new partnerships. The legacy of the Gulf War and its aftermath continues to shape the dynamics of the region, influencing political decisions and military strategies to this day. It has led to a reassessment of alliances, a heightened sense of insecurity, and the emergence of new threats, as countries navigate the complex and often volatile landscape of Middle Eastern politics. Understanding these shifts is crucial for comprehending the current state of the Israel-Iraq conflict and its potential trajectory, as well as the broader implications for regional and global stability.